Prehistoric Kingdom has some brilliant animals, but wouldn't you like to see them take to the skies? This is our top 10 flying creatures we'd like to see come to Prehistoric Kingdom. Number 1 is the classic Pteranodon. This is a genus of pterosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period, around 70 to 100 million years ago. Pteranodon was one of the largest pterosaurs, with their wingspans ranging from 3 to 10 metres and a long toothless beak with a distinctive crest on its head which varied in shape and size between the males and the females. Pteranodon was well adapted for soaring over the oceans, using air currents to glide efficiently. Its large wings and lightweight skeleton allowed it to cover great distances in search of food. Pteranodon primarily fed on fish and other marine creatures. It lightly skimmed the water's surface or dived down to catch its prey. Fossils of Pteranodon have been found in what is now North America, particularly in areas were once covered by the Western Interior Seaway, a vast inland sea. Pteranodon is arguably the most well-known pterosaur and would be a perfect addition to Prehistoric Kingdom. When flying animals come to the game, I would love to create a coastal map with a cliff and sea, with all the Pteranodons nesting on the cliff faces. I think this will be amazing. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Number 2 is the humongous Quattas. This is a genus of giant pterosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period, approximately 70 to 66 million years ago. Quattas is known for having one of the largest wingspans of any flying animal, reaching up to 11 metres. It stood 5 metres tall and had a long neck and a massive crested head. Despite its enormous size, Quattas was capable of flight. It lightly launched itself from the ground or cliffs and used air currents to glide and soar. Quattas likely fed on small vertebrates, fish and invertebrates. Its long, toothless beak was well suited for probing the ground and water for food. Fossils of Quattas have been found in North America, particularly in the Western Interior Seaway that we mentioned before, where Pteranodon was also found. The first fossils of Quattas were discovered in Texas in the early 1970s by Douglas Lawson, and the genus is named after the Aztec feathered serpent god, Quetzalcoatl. This giant flying reptile is a must for Prehistoric Kingdom. It would be like having huge flying giraffes in your park, so you'd have to make a huge dome-like structure perhaps to keep these guys contained. I'm super excited to see what Prehistoric Kingdom come up with when they bring flyers into the game. Number 3 is IrOnitteris. It's an extinct genus of bat that lived during the early Eocene epoch, approximately 52 million years ago. This bat was relatively small, measuring about 14 centimetres long, with a wingspan of 37 centimetres. It had elongated fingers to support its wing membranes, similar to modern bats. This creature is one of the earliest known bats to have developed echolocation, a biological sonar system that allows bats to navigate and hunt in the dark by emitting high-frequency sounds and listening for their echoes. Fossils of this bat have been found in the Green River Formation in Wyoming, USA, which was a subtropical lake ecosystem during the Eocene. This environment provided a rich habitat for insects, which were likely a primary food source for IrOnitteris. Can you imagine making a bat cave for your guests to walk through in the dark, and loads of lights and the flutter of these bats going past? Scary stuff. But if you think they're scary, take a look at number 4. This is Desmato Dracula. This is an extinct species of vampire bat that lived during the Pleistocene epoch, about 2.5 million to 11,000 years ago. Desmato Dracula was significantly larger than its modern relative, the common vampire bat, Desmato rotundus. It had a wingspan of 50 centimetres and a body mass of around 60 grams. Its skull was long and narrow with an upturned snout. Fossils of Desmato Dracula have been found in Central and South America. Like modern vampire bats, Desmato Dracula was a hematophagous animal, meaning it fed on the blood of other animals. It likely preyed on large mammals such as megafauna. I can just imagine these huge vampire bats drinking the blood of cave bears and saber-toothed cats. These are a really cool option for Prehistoric Kingdom. It would offer another mammal also, because a lot of these flies are reptiles, so it's nice to add more mammals to the mix. Speaking of mammals, up next is Myopa. This is an extinct species of gliding mammal that lived during the Jurassic period around 160 million years ago. Myopa was about 23 centimeters long from nose to tail and weighed around 120 to 170 grams. It had a furry membrane extending between its limbs, similar to modern gliding mammals like flying squirrels. The fossilised remains show well-preserved skin membranes that connected its front and back limbs, allowing it to glide from tree to tree. Its limb proportions and skeletal features suggest it was agile and well adapted for this mode of locomotion. Myopa lived in forested environments where it could glide between trees to escape from predators and forage for food. This would be a perfect addition to a habitat. Imagine making a Jurassic rainforest and you have your dinosaurs and then you have these little mammals scurrying around in the trees. It would really bring the game to life. Number 6 is Meora, the giant dragonfly. This lived during the late Carboniferous period, 300 million years ago. Meora is known for its impressive size, with a wingspan reaching 30 inches. It had a long, slender body and large veined wings, making it one of the largest flying insects ever discovered. Meora was a predator, feeding primarily on other insects. Its large size and powerful jaws made it a formidable hunter in its environment. Fossils of Meora have been found in coal deposits in Europe, particularly in France. It likely lived in swampy, forested environments with an abundant insect prey. Meora's large eyes and spines on its legs suggest it was well adapted for hunting and capturing prey. It likely spent much of its time flying over water bodies searching for food. This will be a fantastic addition to Prehistoric Kingdom. In fact, we've already made a bug enclosure for these creatures if they do arrive. And if you want to check that out, click the link above. Number 7 is Pelorus. You might remember this one from Ark. This is a genus of prehistoric seabird known as pseudotooth birds, which lived from the late Oligocene to the early Pleistocene epochs. Pelorus had an enormous wingspan, with some species like Pelorus sandersi reaching up to 6.4 meters, making it one of the largest flying birds ever. This wingspan is nearly twice that of the largest living bird, the wandering albatross. Despite their name pseudotooth, they didn't actually have teeth, but rather bony tooth-like projections in their beaks, which they used to catch and consume fish and squid. Pelorus was an adept glider, using air currents to soar over the open ocean with minimal flapping. Their long wings helped reduce drag, allowing them to cover great distances while expending little energy. These birds were marine animals, spending most of their time over the open ocean. They likely took off by running down slopes into headwinds to gain the necessary lift. I'd love to see some prehistoric birds in Prehistoric Kingdom, so this is a perfect fit, especially if we get some marine creatures too. Number 8 is Argentavis. This was a giant Pteranodon bird that lived during the late Miocene epoch around 9 million years ago. Argentavis is known for its enormous size, with a wingspan estimated to be between 5 and 6.5 metres. It stood about 1.5 to 1.8 metres and had a long, slender beak with a hooked tip. Despite its massive size, Argentavis was capable of flight. It likely used thermal updrafts to soar and glide over long distances, conserving energy while searching for food. Argentavis was a carnivorous bird and preyed upon medium-sized animals such as mammals. Its powerful beak and large talons would have been well suited for catching and consuming their prey. Again, you might recognise this bird from Ark, and I think it would be perfectly suited to Prehistoric Kingdom too. Imagine these massive birds on some cliff face building a nest, looking down at your guests. And just imagine if they escaped. Those talons could certainly pick up a guest. Not that I'm planning to feed my guests to the Argentavis at all. Honestly, that's not what I'm doing. Number 9, and specially requested by Colton Todd, is Pteranodon. This genus of pterosaur lived during the early Cretaceous period around 105 million years ago. Pteranodon had a wingspan of about 2 metres and was roughly the size of a large bird. It had a long, slender beak with around 1,000 bristle-like teeth that were used to filter small creatures like crustaceans and plankton from the water. Its specialised teeth and beak structure suggests that Pteranodon was a filter feeder, much like modern-day flamingos. It likely fed on tiny invertebrates such as zooplankton and krill. Fossils of Pteranodon have been found in South America, particularly in Argentina and Brazil. It lived in environments that were rich in aquatic life, which provided ample food sources. The first fossils of Pteranodon were discovered in the Lagacito Formation in Argentina during the late 1960s. What a great suggestion by Colton. I love this pterosaur because of its unique beak. It really stands out from the crowd. Number 10 is the Tapara, well known for its beautiful, colourful head crest. This is another genus of pterosaur that lived during the early Cretaceous period, about 120 to 100 million years ago. Tapara had a wingspan of approximately 1.3 metres. It had a distinctive semicircular crest over its snout and a bony prong that extended back behind its head. Tapara fossils have been found in Brazil, particularly in the Santana Formation. They likely lived in forested environments near bodies of water. The crest on its head may have been used for display purposes such as attracting mates or intimidating rivals. I would love to see Prehistoric Kingdom's take on this animal because of its beautiful colours and head crest. I wonder the beautiful designs that the team could come up with. Imagine the 3 different skins for Tapara. What colours would you like to see it in? Comment down below. So there we have it. That's our top 10 prehistoric flyers that we want to see come to Prehistoric Kingdom. But have we missed any? There's plenty more flying animals out there, and we'd like to hear what you want to see in Prehistoric Kingdom. So comment down below and let us know. And if not already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future videos. And if you've enjoyed this one, please give us a like, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.